All right, welcome. Today we are diving headfirst into a really deep and, let's be honest, pretty challenging paradox right from the heart of Jewish mysticism. We're talking about the Zohar. It's one of those ideas that really makes you stop and question what you think you know about justice, about mercy, and, well, about the nature of God itself. How can a loving God ever find satisfaction in judgment? Let's get into it.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the paradox itself. Then we'll unlock this crucial idea, the difference between completion and, just plain destruction. After that, we'll pop the hood and look at the cosmic engine of justice, see it in action with two huge stories, and then we'll bring it all into our world today so we can find that same balance in our own lives.
Okay, so our whole journey kicks off with this one line from the Zohar. And on the surface, it seems pretty straightforward, right? A good, compassionate God doesn't get a kick out of punishing people. It's the image we all have. But this is the Zohar, and with the Zohar, the surface is never the whole story. This simple sentence is actually a doorway into something way more complex, way more paradoxical.
And this right here, this is the question at the heart of our entire explainer. How do you square a God of infinite mercy with these moments in the texts that describe, well, not just judgment, but this sense of resolution, maybe even a kind of divine satisfaction? Is that a contradiction? Or is there a massive piece of the cosmic puzzle that we're just not seeing?
To even begin to get this, we have to totally shift our perspective. Don't think of an angry judge in a courtroom. Think of a cosmic, divine process. Picture it, a heavenly court, but it's not full of fury. It's suspended in this luminous, perfect balance. You see the scales of din, of pure judgment, but they don't just slam down. No, they're weighing things, actions, deeds, potential, slowly, carefully, over these huge stretches of time. And the whole time you see these sparks of pure mercy, of Chesed, flashing out, delaying the final verdict, giving more time, one more chance for change, for a return to balance. See, this isn't about anger. It's about restoring a universal equilibrium.
So, to really get it, we've got to go deeper. We have to go into the sod, the secret, the hidden layer of meaning. And the secret is this. In the divine system, not all endings are the same. Not even close. What the Zohar teaches us is that there are two totally different kinds of judgment. On one side, you have what we might call divine satisfaction. Now, this is not, I repeat, not glee or happiness in suffering. Think of it as the deep satisfaction that comes from removing an evil that is fully ripened, something that's become a spiritual cancer and is threatening the health of the whole system. It's like a surgeon removing a tumor to save a life. The act itself is serious, it's painful, but the result is health and restored balance. But then there's the other side, divine sorrow. This is the grief that comes from destruction when there was still potential for good, for repair. It's a process that gets cut short. It's a tragic loss of what could have been. And this right here reveals the ultimate goal of everything in the system, tikkun. This word is, well, it's everything. It means to fix, to mend, to restore. The goal is never, ever punishment for punishment's sake. The goal is always to bring the world and every single soul in it back to its original state of harmony and balance. Judgment is just one of the tools, a painful, last resort tool in this huge cosmic project of tikkun ulam, of mending the entire world.
So, to really understand the difference between a judgment that brings satisfaction and one that brings sorrow, we have to look under the hood of creation itself. We need to check out the divine engine that powers this whole thing, the system of the Sefirot.
Now, in Kabbalah, the Sefirot aren't just ideas. They are living, active channels of divine energy that literally create and run our reality. Let's look at the key players here. First, you've got Chesed. This is pure, boundless loving kindness and mercy, just flowing out, giving, expanding, no limits. Its counterpart is Gevurah, which is also called din. This is the force of strength, of boundaries, of judgment. It gives structure and contains that infinite flow of Chesed. Now, holding these two opposites in perfect balance is Tiferet, beauty, harmony. It finds the perfect, exquisite mixture of mercy and judgment for any situation. All of this flows down into Malchut, our physical world, the kingdom. It's where the whole divine plan actually happens. And finally, experiencing all of this is the Shekinah, the indwelling divine presence. When there's balance, the Shekinah is at peace. When there's imbalance and premature destruction, the Shekinah feels that pain and goes into exile.
You can almost see this whole process as a dance of light and color. It starts with this brilliant, pure white light of Chesed. It shines out to delay things, to give time for repentance, for teshuvah. But as the imbalance gets worse, the intense red light of Gevurah starts to glow brighter and brighter, signaling that a line is being crossed, a threshold is coming. When the whole process is allowed to finish properly, these two lights, red and white, they blend together into this radiant gold of Tiferet. That's the perfect moment where a necessary action restores harmony. But if the judgment comes too soon, if it's an interruption, the result is a darkened, sorrowful light, a sign that the Shekinah is grieving.
So you see, there's a structure to this. It's not just some random emotional outburst. It's a process. Step 1 is always delay, powered by Chesed, giving time and space. Step 2 is accumulation. Those cosmic scales are slowly, impartially measuring everything. Step 3 is the threshold, that tipping point orchestrated by Tiferet, where the system itself says, okay, this imbalance can't be sustained anymore. And only then, as the very last resort, do you get execution by Gevurah. And it's not out of anger, but out of a necessary, almost reluctant, cosmic rebalancing.
Now, this whole cosmic process has a kind of hidden code, and it's built on key numbers. Take the number 2. It represents that core duality we've been talking about. Not good versus evil, but two totally different modes of divine judgment, one that brings a restorative completion, and one that brings grief because it's an interruption.
Then you've got the number 10. This, of course, stands for the 10 Sephiroth. It's a reminder that real judgment is never just one thing. It's not just an act of strength or anger. It is a holistic verdict that's been reached by the entire divine system working together. The whole spectrum has to agree. It's a systemic decision, not a knee-jerk reaction from one part.
And finally, the number 40. Think about it. Throughout the tradition, the flood, the years in the desert, 40 always represents a complete cycle. It's a full measure of time needed for a process to ripen, to come to its full conclusion. It stands for patience, for testing, for waiting for exactly the right moment. It is the absolute opposite of a rash, premature judgment.
All right, so that's the theory. Now let's see how this all plays out in two of the most powerful and wildly different stories from the tradition. This is where it all gets very, very real.
Okay, this is really the heart of it all. Two huge destructions, two profoundly different divine reactions. First, you have Sodom. The Zohar sees this as the judgment of completion. The evil there had become so deep, so ripened, it was literally a spiritual cancer. The judgment, as harsh as it was a necessary surgery to save the health of the entire system. And the result was a kind of solemn, final resolution. But then you have the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, and that is seen as the ultimate tragedy. Why? Because according to the Zohar, the potential for healing, for tikkun, was still there. The judgment came too soon. It wasn't a clean surgery, it was a cosmic system crash, and the result wasn't balance. It was profound divine sorrow, the Shekinah herself going into exile.
Let's really try to picture the result at Sodom. Imagine this landscape. Yeah, it's desolate, it's smoking, but it's bathed in this subtle, solemn light. It's not a happy light, not a celebratory light. It's a light of resolution. The fever has broken, the cancer is gone. The cosmic system, yeah, it's scarred, but it is finally at peace. Its fundamental balance has been restored. It was a painful surgery, but a complete one.
Now, contrast that with the vision of the temple's fall. Here, the light of the Shekinah, that indwelling divine presence, is dimmed. It's shrouded in grief. It's this sorrowful, echoing light bouncing through the broken stones. The Zohar has this incredible image. It says, "The river of divine flow has run dry. The connection between heaven and earth is broken, not healed." This isn't the resolution of a finished process. It's the absolute tragedy of an interrupted one.
Okay, I know these cosmic ideas can feel pretty far out there, so let's pull them right into our world. Let's use a couple of modern analogies to make this ancient truth crystal clear.
For all you gamers out there, this is going to click immediately. The judgment of Sodom, that's like a really well-designed boss battle. The enemy has a warning meter that fills up over time. You get plenty of chances, plenty of warnings. When that meter's full, you finally defeat the boss. It's tough, but it lets you move on. It's a satisfying completion of the level. The destruction of the temple, though, that's like a sudden game-breaking glitch. You're right in the middle of the level, you've got a shot at winning, but the game just crashes and deletes your save file. It feels completely wrong, unfair, and it is so frustrating. That feeling is a taste of cosmic grief. Or let's use a tech analogy. Think of it like cosmic engineering. The necessary purge of Sodom is like your computer running a full system scan and finding some really bad malware. It warns you, it quarantines the files, and finally, it runs a scheduled cleanup that removes the threat and gets performance back to optimal. The system is healthy again.
The cosmic grief of the temple's destruction is like being in the middle of a critical process when the power goes out, forcing a hard shutdown. What do you get? Data corruption, system instability. It's broken. The system isn't healed, it's just broken. It's the difference between a graceful, planned procedure and a catastrophic failure.
So, at the end of the day, this is not just some abstract cosmic lecture. This ancient wisdom has a direct and powerful application in our own lives. The question is, how do we bring this divine balance down to earth, into our own world? And that brings us to the final and maybe most important question. Knowing that there's a time for mercy and a time for firm, clear, decisive action, how do we become the ones who hold that balance in our own lives, in our parenting, in our friendships, in our communities? When do we extend Chesed, give a little more time, a little more grace? And when do we have to apply that difficult but necessary cut of Gevurah to restore the health of our own personal system? The real wisdom, as we've seen, is knowing which tool the moment is truly calling for to bring about real healing and restoration.
Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.